This Mobile Geeks video is powered by ASUS.
Hey, I'm Roland here at Computex 2015, and what we have right here is the so-called ECS EF20RA. The device has a somewhat complicated name, but it's really interesting because this is what is going up against Chromebooks in the future with Windows 10. It's one of those devices that is supposedly pretty cheap. It's also long-running, and it is semi-rugged. So this has a very sturdy design. They are using very thick plastic materials, as you can see here on the side. That border there, that bezel is around, yeah, it's even more than 1 millimeter thick, I guess. So this thing is running the Intel Atom Bay Trail entry platform. So it's basically the same hardware configuration as the Asus EEBook X205TA, which is running a Bay Trail Atom Z3735F SoC. That's the quad core running at 1.33 gigahertz, going up to 1.83 gigahertz on the turbo boost when more power is needed. And that chip is usually only used in tablets. So that's the one running all those cheap Windows 8.1 tablets up to now. And Asus is also using that as their notebook SoC on that one single SKU. And now ECS is jumping on that train and is releasing or working together with Intel and probably Microsoft to push this into the education market, and this will go up against Chromebooks in education. What's in it, except the Atom SoC, is 2 gigs of RAM, 16 gigs of flash storage, or 32 or 64, depending on what the customer orders. We have an 11.6-inch screen running at 1366 by 768 resolution. We have a TN panel on here, so the viewing angles are going to be a problem. Right now, it's not running, sadly, because the battery ran out. They can't find the charger, so that's why I'm showing you it with the screen turned off. It was running the other day. There is a 5,000 milliamp hour battery in here, so that's the same size as has been on the EEBook from Asus, which gave you about 10 to 12 hours of runtime. This is just going to be the same. Again, 10 to 12 hours of usage time, depending on screen brightness and what you do with it, but you can get a ton of use out of this. This can be used as a typewriter, mobile typewriter, surfing the web, browsing the web, doing simple tasks, office work and all that kind of stuff, working at the university or the college or whatever. For example, that's why they're going into education with it, because the battery lasts forever and it has just the right mix of portability, longevity, and a bit of power in there. Let's go quickly around the device. We have the power plug right here. Sadly, it's not charging through micro USB as the Asus X205TA. On the one hand, it's a good thing because it takes not as long to charge the device as on that EEBook from Asus. But in this case right now, it is kind of a disadvantage because I can't get it to turn on because the battery ran out. We have a full-size HDMI port, so no micro HDMI as on the Asus. We have a full-size USB port right here. I think it's USB 2.0, not 3.0, because that Intel chip in there, that Bay Trail, the old Bay Trail, doesn't even support USB 3.0, I think. We have a 3.5 millimeter headset jack and your micro SD card slot there. On the front, there is the very nice clickable trackpad. Has a nice surface, feels very good. We have a somewhat structured surface right here, and the keyboard is not bending at all. So there's no flex at all. If you put it down, the keys are decently sized, except for that one up here. That's kind of crammed. That's the power button right there. We have a VGA front-facing camera somewhere up here. There you are. And that is that ominous 11.6-inch TN panel I was talking about. On the right, you get another USB port, and that is pretty much it. If you fold it down, you'll see that it's nice and thin, actually, although it's a semi-rugged design. And it feels very sturdy. Again, the cover is also covered in that, the top is also covered in that slightly structured plastic right here. And you can't exchange anything on it, or probably, maybe you can. But there's no access panels down here. We have 2 stereo speakers, though those are downward facing. Let's just quickly check how far it folds open. That's not very far. It should be decent for everyday usage. Let's hope the TN panel isn't too bad, so you can definitely, let's just hope it has good enough viewing angles to be used in day-to-day life. There is one more thing I want to add. There is an M2 slot in here. So this is what they're saying. They're going to use that for 3G, an optional 3G model that will also make will also. One thing I want to add is there is going to be a model with an optional 3G modem, and they're actually using a M2 slot in there. So maybe you can even put in an M2 SATA SSD and replace that rather slow eMMC SSD that will be coming will be coming directly from the factory, and that 3G module will also be the reason for the integration of a SIM card slot on that particular model. So this has just been a very quick look at the ECS EF20RA Chromebook killer here at Computex 2015, and I was rolling with Mobile Geeks checking out this device over here. And if you like what we do on our channel, give us a thumbs up, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Google+, and we will see you later.
This Mobile Geeks video is powered by ASUS.